Prescription order entry. In this module, we'll review the various methods of creating a prescription, its order details, and options available for output of the prescription. Remember, closing out the menu tab as well as hiding the orders view minimizes scrolling and provides more efficient order entry. Now, to begin with, let's review the most common method of creating a prescription through reconciliation at discharge. Upon discharge medication reconciliation, you'll notice that there's a column to indicate a new prescription to be created. When clicking this icon, note the blue X indicates that order details are not complete. By clicking on the medication line, you'll note any required fields are indicated in yellow. Creating a new Rx or prescription is one of the options available upon the discharge reconciliation. By clicking in this column, that medication will be generated as a prescription item. Notice the blue icon with an X indicates that the order details are not complete. Click on the line item to bring up the order details and review what order details are available. Here you have the opportunity of changing any of the order details that were defaulted by clicking on that corresponding field. Note here that the dispense section have two tabs for 30 and 90, and these are in terms of days quantity, not quantity of tablets. For instance, with this medication being given twice a day, clicking on the 90-day supply changes your dispense to 180 tabs. You still have the option of manually changing the dispense quantity as desired. Also available are special instructions that would print on the prescription for the patient. By clicking in this field, the most common special instructions will present itself, or you could simply type in your special instructions as you wish. The only other required detail missing from this order is the Send To. The Send To gives you the options of printing or generating a paper prescription, or not sending a prescription to the printer for various reasons. By clicking on Other, or by clicking on the elliptical, you'll be presented this option. When selecting Send to Printer, your default output destination initially is based on the printer, your computer that you're using, and not on the prescription printer tray. To change this default to a specific prescription tray that contains a tamper-resistant paper, you must take these additional steps to set up your favorite prescription output destinations. Once you set this up initially, it will dramatically expedite the future prescription generating process. Click on the second tab, Other Output Devices, and then on Sherman Hospital. Here you'll have the ability to add your favorite prescription output devices, which will be based on where your patients reside upon discharge. For instance, Cardiac Care 2A, right-click and add to favorites. Repeat this process for all other potential units. Cardiac Care 2B, add to favorites, and so forth for other units. Again, this is a one-time process in order to make your prescription writing, generating process much easier in the future. Medical care. And surgical care. Here you could view all of the favorite prescription output devices you've added. Now, to ensure your output device for prescriptions are never defaulted to the regular printer associated with the computer in use, click on the first option, Always treat my personal default output destination as the default. This will ensure that your prescription is printed on the tamper-resistant prescription paper. Lastly, select the most common unit you prescribe on and right-click and set as default. Once these steps are completed, select OK to generate your prescription. Here you'd want to reconcile and sign to generate your prescription. The second option of generating a prescription is by right-clicking on any active medication and converting it to a prescription. Here you are presented with options of changing order details, as before, and determining how you'd like to print that prescription. Here you'll notice all the favorite prescription trays that you had generated previously. At this point, you would select the unit that you're generating the prescription on, set it as a default, and hit OK. Notice this will send to the unit for the prescription tray you indicated. Click on Orders for Signature and Sign. The third and last option to add a prescription is by clicking on the Add Orders icon and changing the type from inpatient to discharge meds by prescription. When searching on the medication, you'll be presented with several different order sentences, and it's most efficient not to pick the one that has no order details. Continue entering additional medications you'd like to prescribe. And when you've selected all your medications, click Done to review the order details of each of the prescription items. Starting with the aspirin, note here all the order details are populated. Again, you could select routing by stating Do Not Send over-the-counter medication. Thus, we're not having to address this medication for printing. For the Norco, you could change any of the order details as desired. And then address how you'd like to print that prescription. Again, by selecting printer, you have your favorite printer tray options available, and you could right-click on the medical unit that you're prescribing and set as default and hit OK. Note that this prescription will then send to that medical unit prescription tray. Upon signing it and refreshing, that prescription has been generated. To review any prescriptions that have been entered in the system, click on Medication List and view all the prescriptions that have been entered. Note that all non-controlled substance medications will print separately from the controlled substance medications. In addition, although there's an electronic signature on the controlled substance prescriptions, it will still require a physical signature by the physician in order for it to be processed through retail pharmacies. This includes our session on how to create prescriptions and print prescriptions.